now it's COVID, and with COVID we have Djokovic. Djokovic is in the headlines. He's been denied entry into Australia. His visa has been cancelled. His lawyers are fighting for it, and Djokovic has not taken any vaccination. So obviously there are some massive issues out there. And Djokovic being world number 1, probably gunning for title number 21, which will make him the men's player with the most Grand Slams. A lot of things on the line. So we'll bring Mazhar into this. Mazhar, what do you think about Djokovic's situation? Firstly, clarify Djokovic's situation for our viewers and listeners, and let us know your thoughts on it.
So, of course, it's not a secret that Djokovic was an anti-vaxxer. It's been true since the beginning. Now, what's crazy is recently he comes out and says that he has an exemption, a medical exemption from taking the vaccine. Now, someone of Djokovic's stature, it's not hard to find a medical exemption, right? Let's face the facts. Whether he actually has some case or doesn't, that's not the point, because there's a lot of controversy around that. Just the fact that he was so anti it in the beginning just throws shade and doubts on whether he legitimately has this medical exemption or has a medical reason for not being vaccinated. There was someone who said this line, and I read it somewhere, where they said he has medical issues to take the vaccine, but he's medically fit enough to win an Australian Open. That just think about that, right, for a moment, and reflect on that. The guy has 20 Grand Slams. He's the fittest of the fittest. There's no way that you can tell me that he has some grounds basis which he can't get vaccinated when this has been tried and tested on millions and millions of people across the globe, right? 3 of us sitting here are all double vaccinated. We're not even 1% of the athlete that Djokovic is. Oh, wait, sorry. We are all athletes. Boom. Well, I'm throwing shade. Yes. If for all of those who want to know why, just tune into our previous episode where we spoke about esports versus real sports. If you don't consider esports a sport, just gonna leave. And in Shubham's words, competitive activity. But yeah, coming back to the main point, the problem with Djokovic's case, and Sports Illustrated actually has covered everything. So all of those, we'll share that link in our description. So do check that out, because it gives you full context on what's going on, what's Djokovic's scenario, and so on and so forth. Many people are saying he's being wrongly targeted. I think absolutely not. At the end of the day, he's the biggest role model in one of the biggest individual sports in the world. He's the world number 1, has been dominating tennis over the last 5-6 years. He's going around and he's got this aura about him, right? He's Serbia's representative. He represents Serbia as a country. Like, he is basically like Manny Pacquiao in the Philippines, or you can say Mo Salah in Egypt. That's what he stands for. It's become such a political agenda that the Serbian president is coming out in support of him, saying that he's been harassed and being mistreated by the Australian government. I think it was clear, and Rafa Nadal spoke about it, right? Nadal said, whether or not you want to get vaccinated, whether or not you believe in it, you know the rules. The rules are plain and simple. It's black and white. The rules say you have to be vaccinated to play in the tournament. He flies in. Firstly, I don't know how he flew in. There's a lot of question marks on that as well. Why did Australian border control not stop him? Now, the reason for that is also because he flew privately, apparently. So
I guess, I might be wrong, but I think what I've read is that he was given an exemption from the Australian Open. Like, the Australian, the organizers knew that he's not vaccinated, and that exemption was given. But to get into Australia, the government is so strict about their rules and regulations that you need to be double vaccinated to get into Australia. So that is the problem, because apparently,
exactly,
I think he got, on the 16th of December, he got COVID, because of which I think his lawyers are fighting a case saying that because he had COVID, he did not take the vaccine, so his exemption applies, and the Australian Open knew about it. But so what the Australian Open knows, because if Australia doesn't allow you inside the borders, where are you going to play the Australian Open, right? So
exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely spot on, Shubham. The other tricky part is the Australian Open funds these players. So the Australian Open is the one Open that actually pays for their players' flights. So there's so much money involved, and the Australian Open doesn't want to lose the number one player, their current champion, literally the brand ambassador for the sport, the face of the sport. The Australian government has a strict rule. Why should we give anyone privileges? So what if you're Novak Djokovic? I'm sure even if it was Steve Smith or Aaron Finch or whoever, like they're Australian national heroes, Ian Thorpe for that matter, they'd all get picked on. The rules don't change when it comes to safety and health concerns. I read another interesting point that I want to just end on, and then of course bring you guys into whatever the further discussions. And I love this, what Sports Illustrated said was like 95% of the people that that are part of are part of the events that for the Open are all vaccinated. 95% are all vaccinated. 93% of his staff apparently are vaccinated.
Djokovic's staff.
Yes. And 100% of the fans who pay money to watch him are vaccinated. So don't you have a sense of responsibility to all of them? At least do it out of that, and so that's the thing. Like, I don't know, it's tough. I know Nick Kyrgios, who is not a fan of Djokovic, took up for him, saying at the end of the day, he is human. Yes, he is human. That's why he should get vaccinated, right? According to me personally, there's no way that there's this massive conspiracy where suddenly all the doctors in the world come together, right? And are like, oh yeah, we're going to play this conspiracy and be like, no, you have to get vaccinated. It's obviously there's no way that that's true. There's a reason why they are telling us to get vaccinated. There's a reason why they feel it's safe to take the vaccine. There's no way they would roll out vaccines across the globe unless it was safe. So for me, I don't know, man. I just feel like as a role model that he is, I know it's like, again, we keep putting sports people on these pedestals that we create when they don't necessarily want to be there. But the thing is, I guess, like, at the end of the day, you do have a responsibility to society, to the larger audience, because at the end of the day, you are getting paid because we like you or we watch you win. He can still win all these tournaments, but what tomorrow if no one gives a fuck, then what? He's not going to make that much money. So I think it all ties back to, again, money.